you ever stayed awake at night thinking about one mistake you made years ago? Have you ever felt that no matter how hard you try to change, the past still follows you like a shadow? And what if the real thing trapping you was not karma itself, but the person you believe yourself to be? Millions of people live with silent emotional pain every day. Some carry guilt from broken relationships. Some blame themselves for losing money, hurting loved ones, missing opportunities, or making choices they cannot undo. On the outside, they smile, work, talk, and live normal lives, but deep inside they feel tired, heavy, and emotionally trapped. Many people try motivation, religion, success, distractions, or endless self-improvement, but the burden still remains. In this video, inspired by the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, you will discover a shocking idea that can completely change the way you see suffering, guilt, fear, and karma itself. Stay until the end because each chapter reveals a deeper truth about the mind, awareness, and freedom that most people never notice. And if this journey speaks to your heart, remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep spiritual teachings and life-changing stories. A man once sat alone in his car long after work had ended. The parking lot was almost empty, the lights from the offices slowly turning off one by one, but he could not drive home. 10 years earlier, during a family crisis, his younger brother had called him asking for help. He ignored the call because he was angry and busy chasing success. A few months later, his brother left the country, and their relationship never healed. The man became successful, respected, and financially comfortable. But every night, his mind returned to that one moment. This is how many people live. They carry old pain silently inside while smiling outside. Some carry guilt from broken relationships. Some blame themselves for failed marriages, harsh words, missed chances, or mistakes made during anger and fear. The strange thing is that life continues moving, but the mind keeps replaying the same memory again and again, like a punishment with no end. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa taught that this suffering becomes powerful because people slowly turn pain into identity. A person no longer says, "I made a mistake." Instead, they begin saying, "I am a failure, I ruin everything," or "I always hurt." A woman in her late 30s was cleaning boxes in her childhood home when she found an old-school diary hidden under clothes and books. She sat quietly on the floor and began reading pages she had written at 15 years old. The diary was filled with fear, jealousy, dreams, anger, and worries about things that no longer mattered. She laughed at some pages and became emotional reading others. But one strange feeling slowly appeared inside her. The girl who wrote those words no longer existed. Her voice had changed. Her body had changed. Her dreams had changed. Even her personality was different now. Yet she still said, "That was me." This is something most people never stop to notice. The child disappeared. The teenager disappeared. The person you were 5 years ago also disappeared in many ways. Thoughts change, emotions change, relationships change, goals change, and even fears come and go like waves. Some days the mind feels hopeful. Other days it feels heavy and tired. But something quietly watches every change. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa taught that this silent watcher is closer to your true nature than the changing personality you defend every day. He asked people to look carefully. A businessman spent most of his life trying to control everything around him. He planned every hour of his day, checked his phone constantly, worried about money, feared losing respect, and became angry whenever life moved in a different direction from his plans. At first, people admired him because he looked disciplined and successful, but inside, he was exhausted. Even small problems felt heavy because he believed everything depended completely on him. One night, after weeks of stress and sleeplessness, he sat alone in silence and noticed something strange. His heart was beating without his permission. His breath was moving on its own. Thoughts were appearing in his mind before he even chose them. Worries arrived suddenly. Memories appeared suddenly. Emotions rose and fell like waves without asking him first. For the first time, he realized that much of life was already happening naturally. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa taught that this is where much human suffering begins. A thought appears, and then the mind quickly says, "I thought this." Anger appears, and then the ego says, "This is my anger." An action happens, and afterward the mind claims ownership by saying, A woman spent many months carrying deep sadness after losing someone she loved. During the day, she tried to stay busy, but at night, the pain became stronger. Her mind replayed old memories again and again. She blamed herself for words she never said and moments she could never change. One evening, after weeks of emotional exhaustion, she finally fell into a deep and peaceful sleep. For several hours, the pain completely disappeared. The fear disappeared. The guilt disappeared. Even the sense of being a troubled person disappeared. Yet something still remained, because when she woke up the next morning, she said, "I slept peacefully." Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used moments like this to reveal a powerful truth. Every night in deep sleep, people unknowingly experience life without identity, without emotional burden, and without the heavy story they carry during the day. This shows that suffering depends on mental identification. When the mind becomes quiet, the suffering fades with it. Ramakrishna taught people not to fight thoughts, but to observe them gently. At the end of all these teachings, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa wanted people to see one simple truth that can change the way they live forever. Most human suffering does not come only from events, mistakes, or karma. It comes from the deep belief that the painful story in the mind is who we truly are. People carry guilt for years, replay old memories, fear the future, and punish themselves again and again because they believe they are the person inside the story. But throughout this journey, one thing remained constant. Thoughts changed, emotions changed, the body changed, relationships changed, life situations changed. Yet awareness quietly remained through every moment, watching everything come and go like clouds moving across the sky. This does not mean life suddenly becomes perfect or that problems disappear forever. Challenges will still come. Emotions will still rise and fall. Some days will still feel heavy, but something powerful begins to happen when you stop holding every thought so tightly. The mind becomes quieter, fear becomes softer, guilt loses its control, and little by little, a deep